Good Monday morning. It's time again in 2021 for Blessings from the Bridge, where we started last year looking at the blessings, the Beatitudes in Matthew chapter 5, the words of Jesus. And we come this morning to, I think it's number 6, where Jesus says, "Blessed are the pure in heart, for they will see God." Now, whenever the Bible uses the word heart, and when Jesus uses it here, he's speaking about that inside, unseen, invisible part of man, which is the center of who we are. Everything flows from the heart. We've seen that. Jesus said that. It says that in the Old Testament. Above all else, guard your heart, for from it flow the issues of life. All of life, our thoughts, actions, words, who we are, flow from our heart. So Jesus says, "Blessed are the pure in heart." And even though he doesn't mention them by name, I have to believe that he had in mind the Pharisees, who were the opposite of those who were pure in heart. They were all about the outside of things, and at one point he warns the followers of the Pharisees. He says, they are whitewashed tombs, speaking about the Pharisees. They're whitewashed tombs. Can you imagine a more terrible description aimed at you? You're a whitewashed tomb. And they're full of dead men's bones and every uncleanness, Jesus said about the Pharisees, because they were only concerned about the way they looked, about the outside of things. And Jesus is speaking here about those who are pure in heart, where it really matters, that place where your life is controlled. Do you remember the story of David before he was king, how he was chosen? I'll summarize it for you briefly because it really applies here. It helps us to understand Jesus' words. Israel cried out for a king. They wanted to be like all of the other nations. Up to that point, they had been ruled by judges, directly by God through a judge, and they finally wanted to be like everybody else in the world, and so they cried out for a king, and God finally gave in, saying to Samuel, the last of the judges, saying that they've not rejected you, but they've rejected me. And so God appoints the first king, his name was Saul, to defeat the Philistines, and he did his job, but he was not a man after God's own heart. And so he is deposed. God rejects, through Samuel, rejects Saul, and now the search goes on for another king, and God sends Samuel to the house of Jesse, who had 8 sons. And he comes to the house of Jesse, and the sons are brought before him, and we wait for Samuel to see God's choice among Jesse's sons. And Samuel sees Elias, and he saw something in Elias that, maybe he was strong and strapping and handsome and king-like, and Samuel thought to himself, surely this must be the Lord's anointed. But God said, Samuel, man looks on the outward appearance, but the Lord looks on the heart. And so God had different plans, not for Elias, not for any of the other sons of Jesse, except the youngest shepherd boy named David, the most unlikely choice. Why? Because he was a man after God's own heart. God was looking at the inside of David and saw the potential in him to defeat the Philistines and rule Israel. And so Jesus says, "Blessed are the pure in heart." Blessed are the pure in heart. Those who are after the tradition of David, those who honor God and treasure God in their hearts and are least concerned about outward things, about the way they look, the way things appear. They really want to know God. And here's the promise. There is a promise in every beatitude. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. Not literally see God as Moses did face to face, but they will see, those who are pure in heart. They will understand more about God. They will know him more deeply. They will love him more, and they will seek to worship him because they're pure in heart. So the challenge this morning is from Matthew chapter 5 and verse 8, to purify your heart, to give attention to that inside part of you so that God will be pleased with you, but moreover, so that you will be pleased with God and you will treasure him and seek to grow the heart, which is the source of your life and everything that God has for you. So I hope you enjoy this Monday, the start of a new week. I'll be telling you a little bit more about this year and the theme for this year. So God bless you.